Hello and welcome to Airline Profits Interviews. I am Kofi Sonokwan, a managing editor of Airline Profits magazine and author of the book series on airline business and technology, namely Airlines for Business and Airlines for Technology. Today we have the privilege to talk with Robin Hopper, the Senior Vice President in charge of product and marketing at Guestlogix. Guestlogix is a Canadian-based company. They have offices in Toronto, in Dallas, Texas, London, UK, and Hong Kong. Guestlogix serves more than 30 airline clients and empowers more than 2 million passengers a day to personalize their air travel experience. In today's interview, we'll focus on how Guestlogix helps airlines to increase revenues, profits, and also customer satisfaction. So I would like to invite you to stay tuned till the end of this interview to hear what Robin Hopper has to say. Thank you. Robin, welcome to Airline Profits Executive Interviews, and many thanks for accepting our invitation. I understand that you're actually attending the Apex conference in Long Beach, California. How's that going?
Thank you, Kofi. I am. I find myself bright and early with you here this morning down in Long Beach. The show has been quite interesting for me, exciting for one, in that we're launching a new platform at Guestlogix, but the opportunity to see the kind of activity and the range of activity from in-flight entertainment systems through to products that you see on board, through to seats with massage units embedded inside them. It's been a fascinating couple of days for me.
Okay, very good. Now, before we get into the heart of our conversation, and also by way of introduction, can you tell us briefly about who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm Robin Hopper. I'm the SVP of Product and Marketing Strategy at Guestlogix. Background-wise, I've spent the majority of my career developing product and strategy kind of at the intersection of a couple of things, at the intersection of marketing automation, of CRM, mobile, and e-commerce. And I've really been focused on doing those things for large brands, some airlines, a lot of retailers, brands like Motorola, Sony, Marriott, Southwest, JetBlue, those kind of areas. At Guestlogix, I've had the opportunity since joining to lead the team that's brought our new airline commerce platform to market. So that's a first of its kind data-driven solution that focuses on driving the most ancillary revenues possible for airlines through the entire kind of day of journey for passengers.
Okay. Now, when I hear Guestlogix, I know for sure that there's some logic behind the name, but I can't tie that directly to the airline industry. So can you share briefly about Guestlogix as a company and how specifically it serves the airline industry?
Well, sure. Guestlogix has been around for over 10 years. So we've been developing onboard retail solutions that help airlines around the globe kind of grow their in-flight sales. So onboard retail has been our historical focus. We help them uncover new revenue streams and really, especially in the early days, kind of transformed how they sell. We were a pioneer in the onboard payment processing space, so we opened up kind of a whole new way of allowing the airlines to sell in the sky. We've been, delivering new and better ways for airlines to, as I said, kind of drive the most ancillary revenue opportunities while trying to improve the overall passenger experience at the same time. The mission of the company really is to help airlines empower passengers, but unleash the revenue potential with here's where the Logix part kind of plays in with relevant, personalized merchandise that's data driven. So intuitive software that allows them to shop and pay, develop a stronger brand relationship that drives kind of a bunch of data for the airlines that they can pull insights out of, and then continually improve the types of offers and the types of revenue that they can pull from customers.
Okay. Now, before we discuss the platform that you've just launched or announced, I would like to kind of review some key phrases because I was browsing your website, Guestlogix.com, and I came across some important phrases that caught my attention, and I would like to discuss some of them with you. So the first one is deliver passenger satisfaction and profits. So can you tell us how you assist or enable airlines in achieving these two objectives, namely passenger satisfaction and profits?
Yeah, and that's a good question because those two things would typically sound at odds with one another, right?
Exactly.
Alternative onboard solutions really have been about taking payments in the air for things that historically were just available for free. So you used to get your meal for free. Now you hand your credit card over and make a payment. And in that scenario, it's very hard to kind of jive those two concepts of driving ancillary revenue or profits while improving passenger experience, because the passenger really can't help but feel anything but nickel and dimed through that process. Mm-hmm. We've taken a slightly different approach, not slightly different approach. What we've done is taken a passenger-centric and data-driven approach. So our solution puts passengers back in control. Frankly, we're just following the lead of on-the-ground retail and best practices from companies like Starbucks and Amazon, but by putting tools in the hands of passengers themselves and giving them the ability to personalize their day of journey, whether that's doing things like deciding that they should jump the line, or choosing what products they want to make sure they get before they run out on the flight. By putting controls back in their hands, and allowing them to pick and choose via their own kind of mobile app, we're giving them control. And what we're finding is not only is it driving more revenue opportunities for the airlines, but by giving passengers control back, it's improving their customer satisfaction, their experience, by giving them the feeling of control, or giving them some control over what their experience will be. They're making those decisions, so their overall experience is improved.
Okay. That's very interesting. I was going to talk about the other phrase, which is boost ancillary revenue while enabling your passenger to purchase what they want, when they want, and how they want. But I think you touched on that. The only thing I wanted to say here is, does your platform allow the customers to make to kind of plan their journey well ahead of time, or is it something that, because usually a customer will show up at the airport and then find out that there are a lot of things he has to pay for? So how early in the process does your platform allow customers to actually personalize their travel experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. Some of that's dictated by our customers, so they get to choose when they would start to allow their passengers to tailor or personalize their experience. So, from a focus perspective at the company here, we focus on the day of journey, but there's no reason that the airline couldn't start to allow passengers to do that days or even weeks before. But we focus on things like my way to the airport, and I think of it as almost your personal concierge. So the airline is able to push notifications out to passengers, asking them based on what we know about them, asking them things like, would you like to have priority boarding, or we have a special offer on certain types of meals or other items on the flight.
Okay.
That they can pick and choose from throughout that day of journey, and it's not exclusive to just when the doors close on the plane. Those really can be anything that the airline might want to offer them. It could be, as I mentioned, priority boarding. It could be a deal on connectivity through the flight. It could be the special food and beverage or duty-free offers that they have, or it could be destination-based content like ground transportation when you get to the destination. So there's not, technology-wise, there's no limit on that time frame, but from a company focus, we focus on that day of journey.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, the last quote from your website is, there's a better way to drive higher revenues and passenger satisfaction. And quite honestly, at Airline Profits, that's the same. We share that same viewpoint, that airlines would do well to rethink the business from the ground up. But I understand that at Guestlogix, you have a platform for that, which is called the Guestlogix Airline Commercial Platform. So would you mind talking briefly about that, and also take the opportunity to highlight why you think it's different from the legacy and even new commercial platforms that airlines use today?
Sure. What we've launched this week is, as you say, our airline commerce platform, and it's really built on the rails of best on the ground e-commerce and retail technology and best practices, and that includes really a number of things. So it's driven by data. So it's driven by passenger analytics, product mix optimization, data-driven sales and marketing tools, and comprehensive and frictionless payment kind of components to that as well.
Okay.
And it's in the offering are really three main components. One I touched on briefly already. So there's a passenger-focused mobile app that either can stand on its own as an airline's mobile app, or just integrates with the airline's existing mobile app, and it allows passengers to self-serve, pick and choose the level of service and products that they might want to purchase or experience throughout that day of journey. So that's one piece of it, and that's again data-driven. And personalized. So as we learn more about the passenger, the types of offers and the types of products that are served up to them get smarter and smarter. The other component to the solution is really focused on the flight attendant. So a flight attendant application and point of sale system that's integrated with that passenger app. So as a passenger goes through that process of ordering product, flight attendants are notified, and they have the opportunity to service those passengers, deliver those products to passengers through the flight. But it also connects the flight attendant to that same data that's being collected, so that they have more details on that passenger. They know things like their loyalty points, their next destination, a bunch of things we're putting at the flight attendant's fingertips, so that they can deliver a better and more personalized service to the passenger throughout the journey.
I see.
The third leg in the stool is an overall, back at the office, a management console to manage the entire airline commerce platform. So administrators are able to manage the entire product offering that will be available, whether it's in the passenger app or the flight attendant's app. It allows them to plan their passengers through that, like I said, through that entire day of journey.
Okay. Very interesting. And how would you position yourself compared to other, let's say, travel commerce service providers today?
Yeah, I think this is really a first of its kind approach for the airline industry.
Okay.
It is the lead of what happens on the ground with retail, but the notion of allowing passengers to self-serve through their entire day of journey, the notion of a data-driven retail clienteling approach for flight attendants so that they can improve the level of service that they provide is net new to this industry. It was, for me, coming from more of the on-the-ground retail background, it was surprising to find that even down to kind of the marketing automation level, that a captured audience in a flight was not no consideration had really been given to how to market those people to those people throughout that flight, and how to leverage the data that you have about them to make sure that the offers you're putting in front of them are relevant and of interest. So that, I think, the reality is that overall approach, while it's expected on the ground, it just hadn't been brought to the air before. So that's what we've really introduced with the solution. Okay,
very good. Now, my last question is this related in any way, shape, or form with IATA's NDC, the new distribution channel?
In its first release, we haven't included integration with the NDC, but that is definitely on our roadmap plans. We think that it just makes sense that the ability to sell on board or day of journey retail products should be exposed to kind of everybody that's in that value chain. So that's something that you'll actually see us introduce early next year.
Okay, very good. Now I'm done with my questions. So, Robin, do you have any parting words before we actually conclude this interview?
Maybe just to put a bow on some of the things that I talked about, it's, I think passenger expectations have been set by on-the-ground experience with retailers like with Amazon and Starbucks. So they have expectations around, mobile first. They have expectations around frictionless payment.
Yeah.
Personalization, even with Netflix, recommend me the right movie. So their expectations are set really, really high. And what we're doing here at Guestlogix is we're taking those best practices from those retailers,
mm-hmm.
and we're bringing them to airlines with an understanding, because we've been doing this for 10 plus years. We have an understanding of all the additional complexities around trying to do that in the air. So understanding those complexities, we bring those best practices to an airlines so that they can meet those passenger expectations that have been set by these on-the-ground retailers.
I see. Yeah, and I think you're right, because people have some set of habits that they have acquired by going to places like Starbucks or dealing with Amazon and things, and even having to use Netflix. So when they go to an airline, they would naturally expect the same experience, or at least by default, I would say. So having something built along those lines to help them and make the experience or the transition seamless, I think it only makes sense. Would you?
Yeah, I completely agree. And the challenge for airlines is that they're, for all the right reasons, whether it's health and safety regulations or constraints around space for inventory, or because of the routes that they fly, the complexities around duties and taxes and taking payments in different currencies. It's not as easy to do as it is for a Starbucks on the ground. And that's the benefit of having Guestlogix having been in the space for so long. We understand those complexities, and we can kind of bring that on-the-ground profound experience with the understanding of how hard that is to do in the air.
Very good. So, Robin, I would like to thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. I wish you good luck with your lunch, and have a great day then.
Awesome, Coffee. Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. This concludes my interview with Robin Hopper, Senior Vice President in charge of Product and Marketing at Guestlogix, a Canadian-based company that serves more than 30 airline clients and empowers more than 2 million passengers a day to personalize their air travel experience. And for you, I am Kofi Sonopon, Managing Editor of Airline Profits magazine and author of the recent book series on airline business and technology, namely Airlines for Business and Airlines for Technology. And I would like to thank you for listening to this interview. We hope that you found that interesting and informative. We also hope that you will stay tuned for future Airline Profits executive interviews, since we have a few more coming up over the next few weeks. In the meantime, and if you have not done so yet, I would like to invite you to subscribe to our RSS feed at airlineprofits.com and to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Google+. Moreover, we have relaunched Airline Profits Headlines Today, our daily newsletter, which keeps you updated on the latest aviation industry news worldwide. And you can sign up to get that directly delivered to your inbox. Alternatively, you may consider Airline Profits Regional Digest, our weekly news digest that brings you region-specific headlines for the past week. Once again, many thanks for listening to this Airline Profits executive interview, and I wish you have a great day.